In today's video, I want to talk about goals, and I want to talk about, in particular, the quote, "Begin with the end in mind." This is a quote from the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and it's not really one of my favorite books, but it's probably the book that I think a lot of people in the self-improvement space would say is like amazing. I don't really think it's amazing. I just think that this habit in particular, one that everyone should be doing. You should be thinking about the end goal in mind rather than always giving in to temptation. Now, I'm not the best at this. I'm going to be honest. This is something that we all struggle with. Everybody struggles with this. And especially when it comes to food, right? Thinking about the end goal in mind is extremely hard. When your goal is fat loss, when your goal is losing weight, it's hard to think about your end goal. It's hard to think about the outcome and how it's really going to matter, how it's going to impact you. And sometimes if the only outcome, the only end goal that you have in mind is like, well, just think about how good I'm going to look on the beach this summer. That may work for some people, but for others, it is not going to be enough. And it's just going to leave you feeling a little bit like, well, but it's a donut. Like, and look at how hot and fresh these donuts are. You really think that, I can get my weight under control later, right? And so we tend to put off our goals. We tend to put off the end goal in mind and sacrifice the short-term fulfillment, the short-term pleasure for that long-term fulfillment. And it's something that we constantly do. So if we can switch out of that and start to think about the end goal in mind, we'll start to have much more success with sticking to our calories, hitting our protein, getting our daily steps in, getting our daily movement in, doing the things that the fit version of ourselves would do. I like to call this playing the tape forward, and it's actually something that I used when I was new in drug and alcohol recovery. For those of you who don't know, I've actually battled with addiction up until I was 22. I was addicted to drugs, and I got clean, and one of the things that helped me stay clean was playing the tape forward. And it not only helped me stay clean, it also helped me stop creating wreckage in my own personal life through my personal relationships and things like that, and saying things and doing things that just were hurtful to others, and maybe lying, maybe cheating, maybe stealing, whatever. A lot of those habits were very hard for me to break because I had been doing them for so long before I got clean. So I had to learn a new way of life, and I had to practice these newfound principles in all my affairs. And those principles were like honesty, open-mindedness, patience with others, willingness, and all of these things that I wasn't used to doing because I wasn't used to practicing principles. I was used to acting out on my character defects. And so what I would do is, let's say I would get this inkling to steal something from a store because I didn't want to pay for it. Now, I was somebody who used to steal from stores all the time because I was a drug addict. I wasn't going to pay $8 for this thing at the store when I could just put it in my pocket and walk out. So I was a drug addict. And don't judge me. It's just the way that I was living. Well, if you want to judge me, that's fine. But look, I was a drug addict. I stole things, okay? Lots of drug addicts do. Lots of non-drug addicts steal things. But I instead of stealing that thing, I would play the tape forward. I think about, you know what? I've got like 2 years clean right now. I have a good life. I have money in the bank. I don't need to steal this thing and risk going to jail with a couple years clean. Think about how embarrassing that would be. My friends having to pick me up from jail, or people seeing my mugshot on the county jail's website with multiple years clean, and I'm somebody that people look up to and ask for advice and all of this, and I'm like a pillar in this recovery community, and now my face is on a mugshot on the internet. It's not a good look. So I would play the tape forward and I would think about, is this $8 really worth me sitting in jail over this? No, it's not. So begin with the end in mind. Begin with thinking about stealing equals jail. Cupcakes equals not six-pack on the beach. Like whatever your goal is, right? But also use it in a positive sense. Like going to the gym equals I get to look leaner and look better with a shirt off later. right? So begin with the end in mind, and you'll have a lot more success with your fitness goals, and it'll be a lot easier to stick to. Hopefully this was helpful. If it was, drop a like, drop a comment down below. Let me know it was helpful, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.